it is obvious to me that no matter how many times you make money in the box office of certain characters of any comic franchise, there will always be that certain people of legendary family members that will find some way and somehow to copyright claim your stuff to terminate your company over something that happened a long time ago. It is utterly ridiculous and I do not like it one bit. So what we're dealing with right now is Marvel is suing the families of Stan Lee people. Because this doesn't make any sense at all. Yeah, Marvel is not right and it sucks right now because of woke and politics nonsense. The fact that the families of Stan Lee and Steve Ditko are, try to terminate this company because what? That doesn't make any sense. So the article says, Marvel is suing the families of Spider-Man, Iron Man creators to hold on to characters' rights. So, just like YouTube's copyright claims, you're going to have to dispute it like crazy. They try to come up with some BS excuse and try to come up with something stupid after this and that. The violence still stands. Like, you don't know what to do at this point. Delete the video or trim off some of the segments of the videos that you're doing or file a lawsuit. Because this is just ridiculous. Disney has sued the families of Stan Lee, Steve Ditko, Gene Colan, and other creators, the most iconic characters this week, hoping to block legal efforts by the artists and writers. He states that will seek to acknowledge them as well, the creators of some of the most iconic comic book characters of all time. This is pure THR, which report Marvel owner Disney has launched the suits to challenge copyright termination notice that have been or might soon be submitted by the estate in question. Notably, the heroes of Spider-Man creators Steve Ditko recently filed one such suit, which were hypothetically, per U.S. copyright law, allow creators who have transferred their copyright to a second party, like say a multi-billion-dollar mega corp that spends decades profiting mightily off of those same materials, to terminate that transfer after a significant amount of time has passed. Now, the reason why I'm taking my time reading like this because there are certain words and certain grammars that it's hard for me to pronounce what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, this is all messed up and I do not like it one bit. Number one, the family of Stan Lee and Steve Ditko shouldn't be suing Marvel for proffering their characters that made them famous years ago. All of this is not making any sense whatsoever, and I do not understand this. This question, which has been raging in the comic community for decades itself at this point, and which has been at the core of previous lawsuits featuring the families of Jack Kirby and Superman creators Steve Seagle and Joe Shuster, comes down to whether the creators of these extremely profitable characters ever owned them in the first place. The corporate position has always been that this kind of work qualifies as work for hire, the copyright for which belongs to the people who issued the order to go out and make it infidelity for the both superhero and not the actual artists or writers who merely invested in the characters, designed their costumes or wrote their dialogues. Sorry for my bad reading. Just one word that threw me off and I really hate that. But yeah, this is a rough thing to go through. Because I don't like reading this article, but I feel like in order for me to give y'all the information, I have to read it to you. Whether it's good or bad, I'm going to have to edit my terrible reading parts. Because you know how I do when it comes to reading these articles. So these latest legal complaints, which also falls in a lawsuit from Larry Lieber, co-creator of Iron Man, Thor, and Ant-Man, and younger brother of Stan Lee are expected to put much of their focus on the Marvel method that created much of the company's output in 1960s, a system that saw writers had plot synopsis to artists who then plotted the entirely comic story on paper before handing it back to the writer for dialogues. And that's the one thing I don't understand. In the 60s, it was such a hot year for the Marvel characters, especially in the animated world. Your Spider-Man, your X-Men. No, I don't think the X-Men had an animated cartoon. But Spider-Man, Hulk, Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, and all of them, and the Fantastic Four, all of them had their animated shows in the 60s. So what I really don't understand about this copyright issue is that why wait to now to say something about this? Because I feel like you want to wait and to do this towards the end of 2021. And all of this is just really, really stupid. And if y'all want the article, I will put it in the description. THR notes that even if Marvel loses these cases, it's likely to maintain at least partial ownership of its copyrights. But given that the characters in questions Ditko co-creations of Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, especially who form the center of the upcoming Spider-Man No Way Home, are huge parts of the company's billion-dollar film and comic book offerings, we are presumably expect the corporation to bring every massive legal weapon it has to be bear on these complaints. And that's the one thing that bugs me the most, because Spider-Man No Way Home is coming out this year, this December. Why all of a sudden you want to file against a company that is doing y'all some justice, that has making people love these characters throughout so many years, and the fact that you want to claim this company because of what? Making profit off? Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, Marvel better start fighting like crazy. They better start fighting real hard if they want to keep the characters in the MCU and the Marvel Comics community. They better come with weapons, fight like crazy, and end this copyright nonsense, because all of this does not make any sense. Really. Because I love Marvel, even though they suck right now. I love the characters, but it just, right now, what they got going on, suing the families of Stan Lee and everything, I just hope they, win this lawsuit, because number one, Stan Lee co-created Spider-Man and all the other characters. So this does not make any sense. If he were to be here right now, he wouldn't even allow this to happen. Because now I feel like you're really disrespecting Stan Lee like that. Like I said, if y'all want the article, it will be in the description below. So, y'all take it easy. I'll see y'all in my next content.